Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo, where we focus on the competitive side of the rimfire world. We are back out here at NCRGC to film the August 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire. We are fresh back from the National Championship, where the only thing that I personally won was the drag race.
Right. 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 Right.
But my darling cameraman, she took second place in the ladies division at Nationals. Big congratulations to my darling wife. You shot really well, and I was excited to see you shoot that way. Wanted to say thank you to the guys over at Short Action Precision. Rich and Nate paid for all of the young guns to shoot the national championship. That saved a lot of parents a lot of money, and we are extremely grateful. So if you guys have never heard of Short Action Precision, be sure to visit shortactionprecision.com, where they've got a lot of really specifically built gear for this kind of shooting. Like this little handy dandy magazine holster that we use every single video. They also have the best precision rifle sling on the market. We had a good time out there. The best part about the whole entire experience was actually going out there and meeting you guys. I had a lot of you come up and say hello and thank us for the work we do on this channel, producing these videos every month. Big shout out to the guys in South Africa, Canada, and particularly the guys down in Australia. I got to meet some of my friends from down there, Tree Feller and Ben B. A bunch of those dudes. You guys were awesome to hang out with. It was a super cool experience to go out to dinner with you guys and share a few beers. That was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So without further ado, let's get out here. We've got some targets set up, and let's get these stages rolling.
All right, guys, first up for August, we have Science Fair Bridge Building. We have a 1.5 at 55 and a 2.5 at 95. We're going to start standing 10 feet behind the ladder, rifle grounded next to the ladder with the mag in, action open, bag attached or in hand, as well as the tripod in hand if used. On the start signal, we're going to build a position on the third step of the ladder and engage the targets with 3 shots near, then 3 shots far. You'll then move up to the 4th rung of the ladder and engage the targets with 3 shots near, then 3 shots far again. If you can't reach steps 3 and 4, you can use steps 2 and 3. Restrictions. This is a 1 bag only stage.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
All right, guys, getting things going this month, we have a crash course in tripod use. For my gear on this stage, I'll be using the Ziggurat CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Mini Plate Pro pad, and this tripod that we have at our local club here. For this stage, using the tripod is going to be largely advantageous. When I build a position on this 3rd rung of this ladder, if you watch the reticle closely, you can see how stable that reticle becomes when you have basically a connection to the ground with the stock gear rifle through that tripod. And what I do is I basically build a clamp with my hand around the tripod, and then I pinch the stock of the rifle against the tripod leg with my thumb. Basically, this creates a shelf on the side of the tripod, and it gives you a nice clean place to rest your stock and make that rifle nice and stable on that ladder. In the future, if you ever decide to go shoot an X match, knowing how to use a tripod is really going to be beneficial. As you guys can see throughout that stage, all these shots were taken from a very stable shooting position because of the use of the tripod on the stock of the rifle. That was a good stage to practice this new prop and how it can be used in a competition scenario. If you have a tripod, practice its use off of various props. You'll find the benefits can often outweigh the time that is required to deploy that tripod. That's a good way to start the August match. Let's go ahead and get on to the next one.
Clean station.
Next up, we have Fractions Are Hard. We have a KOL rack at 40 yards with 3/4, half, and 1/4 inch targets. And we have a 1.5 at 85 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, we'll build a prone position and engage the targets in the following order: 3/4 inch, then 1.5 at far, 1/2 inch, then 1.5 at far again, 1/4 inch. Repeat this sequence starting with the 3/4 inch near target. Restrictions: no dialing is allowed. Only parallax and magnification can be adjusted.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Starting off stage 2, we have ourselves a KOL rack. Because, you know, what would an NRL22 match be without a KOL rack? For my gear on this stage, we'll be using the Harris SBRM bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter, and of course, the Armageddon Gear Schmedium. On this stage, keeping the shooting sequence at the forefront of your mind is what's going to help you make it through this without making an impact that doesn't count for your score. Where you can get confused on this one is after you shoot the 1/4 inch target on your first pass through, your natural inclination is going to want to shoot the far target again before going back to the 3/4. However, if you read the stage description carefully, it says to repeat the sequence, which is to start back on the 3/4 inch target. Or as you guys can see through this run through on the stage, I made that mistake almost. I caught myself as I started to pan back up to find that far target and realized, oh no, I go back to the 3/4 inch. So you see that reticle jump up, and then you see the reticle come back down to find that 3/4 to continue the engagement. Keep that shot sequence in the forefront of your mind. You should do just fine. As always, pay close attention to your trigger pulls while shooting prone positions. They oftentimes can be easy, but the small details can be easily overlooked, and you might make a small mistake that could cost you an impact in this stage. That was a fun one. Let's get on to the third stage for this month's Course of Fire.
Clean.
Next up, we have a history lesson, the Zigzag Ziggurat. We have a 3-inch at 100 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the target with 1 shot per position, starting from the outside lower left and move up 1 rung after each shot until you reach the highest position you can safely reach. Then start working your way back down the outside from the upper right. If you can't reach the 5th and 6th positions, you'll work your way back up once you've reached the outside lower right. All engagements are to be made from the outermost part of the rung. Note, this is the bonus point stage, where you earn 0.1 bonus point per second remaining on the clock.
Ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
For the third stage, we have the cruelest stage of this month's Course of Fire, and that is Zigzag Ziggurat. For this one, I'll be using the Grey CNC Mini Plate Pro and the Armageddon Gear Mini Plate Pro pad. For my strategy on this one, I've got to move fast. In order to score 1 bonus point for this stage, you're going to have to average firing a shot every 11 seconds. That is kind of cruel to build 10 different positions off of this prop and fire 10 different shots from those 10 different positions in a minute and 20 seconds. You really do have to move. The target size is generous enough that you can not spend a lot of time lingering on that target, waiting for that reticle to go super still. However, being proficient at getting into your various shooting positions is going to be the key to moving fast on this one. So when you approach this stage, remember to have a game plan for how you plan to shoot each and every position. And if you cannot reach rungs 5 and 6 like I couldn't, at least not without shooting off of your tippy toes, then just go ahead and plan on going up the right side after you break your 7th shot. But remember, missing is not worth that extra point. So if you need to slow down, get your impacts. I had a lot of fun with this one. I know a lot of people are going to hate it. However, this is how we get better. Let's get on to the 4th stage for this month's Course of Fire.
Time.
30 seconds.
That's clean.
Next, we have ourselves some angles and shapes. We have 2 2-inch targets at 70 yards, spaced 10 feet apart. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the targets left, then right as follows. Anywhere on the center blocks, 1 shot each. Middle of the lower tire, 1 shot each. Middle of the upper tire, again 1 shot each. Peak of the rooftop, or as high as you can reach, 2 shots each. Note, bipod may be used, but must only touch the prop utilized for that position. Example, if shooting from the tire position, the bipod may not touch the roof.
Shoot ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
For the 4th stage for this month's Course of Fire, we've got angles and shapes. For my gear on this one, I'll be using the Harris SBRN bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter and the Armageddon Gear Schmedium in heavy fill. So for the first one, I'm actually going to plop my rifle down on top of the Schmedium, on top of the 2 stacked cinder blocks. Then I'm going to take the Harris SBRN bipod and I'm going to actually slide it close to the magazine so that I can build a modified prone position off of that first tire. Now, I run into a little bit of trouble on that one because I moved the tripod too close to the magazine and I ended up needing to move it back out. However, having ARCA on your rifle really does make those kind of changes quick and easy. So I'm going to build basically the same position between the 2 tires, and then things get a little wonky on our particular rooftop. I can't just plop my rifle up there on the tip of the roof because there is no tip of the roof. I've got poles in the way. So I have to kind of build it on the side of the second tire. And I end up having to like reach around that pole nearest me and shoot the first 2 shots at the left target. And then I have to move my hand back around and then squeeze it in between the poles. That's just something unique to this range. Likely at your range you have a different rooftop where you'll just be able to shoot off of the peak. If that's the case, I'm happy for you because that seems like it'd be a heck of a lot easier than what I had to do.
Wow, that was tough.
Lastly for this month, we have some good advice. Don't lean back in your chair. We have a 3-inch at 90 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle and all gear in hand, mag in action open. On the start signal, we'll engage the target from the following positions. The back of the chair, 5 shots. Seat of the chair, 4 shots. Under the chair, 3 shots. You must conduct a mag change after shot number 3, but before the last shot. If a mag change is not conducted and all shots were fired, then the last 2 shots will not be scored, regardless if they were impacts.
Shooter ready?
Shooter ready.
3, 2, 1, engage.
For the 5th and final stage of this month's course of fire, don't lean back in your chair. That is going to be kind of hard to do on this one because we're taking almost half of our shots off the back of a chair. For my gear on this one, I'll be running the Grey Ops CNC Mini Plate Pro, the Armageddon Gear Mini Plate Pro Pad, and the Weebad Strapless Behemoth. As far as strategy is concerned, I plan on shooting these shots once I'm in position relatively quickly. So I'll build a position using the Strapless Behemoth as a rear bag off the seat of the chair to break these 5 shots off the back. Then moving to the seat of the chair, I think when I shoot this for the match, I'm actually probably going to remove my bag because the bag on the seat of the chair made it so that I could barely see that target. And I know it didn't come through on film so that you guys, it looks like I couldn't see the target at all, but I was able to make all 4 impacts off the seat of the chair just with the target barely visible and almost completely grayed out while I was looking through that narrow space between the back of the chair and the seat. Then when I transitioned down to underneath the chair, quote unquote underneath the chair, I wasn't exactly sure if I was supposed to be shooting off of that bottom little support bar or if he meant like just underneath the chair on a bipod. I wasn't certain, so I did what felt natural, which was to shoot off of that support bar. I hope that's what he intended. If it's not, then I was a big screw up, but that was a really fun course of fire. Very well thought out. Creative stage designs and creative names. I always like that.
Clean. All right, guys, well, that is a wrap for the August 2023 NRL22 Course of Fire. Thank you, Darren DeBoer from Free State Precision Plinkers out of Ottawa, Kansas. You put on a heck of a course of fire. We really do appreciate it. I know a lot of folks are going to enjoy this one. Sorry about the delay on getting this one out. During the filming of this course of fire, I actually re-broke an old injury in my right ankle. We ended up going to the urgent care after that, and then 2 days later, we went and shot an X match. So I didn't get the time to sit down and start editing this video until we got back from Utah. But if you enjoy this sort of content, do me a huge favor, reach down there and click that like button, possibly share the video with your friends. That really does help the channel grow, and maybe they might learn a thing or two. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you out on the range.